Consulting. I've been here before, and it's great to see some longtime friends. Richard Brinkley, John Moore is one of my neighbors, so it's nice to be back. We have a real treat this morning. We have Lauren Bland, who is the Executive Director for the Hampton Road Sports Commission. And she's going to do a great overview of not only the big, important, exciting times, which is the AAU Junior Olympic Games coming July 29th this year. But I want to give you just a little background. She is not new to sports management. She's not new to this market. But she did leave us for a while. She was a graduate of ODU. She has her master's in sports management from
ODU.
Yay! And she spent time, I won't go through the whole thing, but she spent quite a bit of time in North Carolina. And she was with sales manager, sports and recreation for, I'm going to say it wrong, Cabarrus County Convention and Visitors Bureau. She was director of events at Carolina Courts in Charlotte, and the list goes on. But what's important for you to know, that she was the events coordinator in 2010 for the AAU Junior Olympic Games, here in Hampton Roads. And they're back again now, and they'll be back again. And so we have found a jewel getting her back because it was kind of rocky. I won't go into it. I can say that, she can't. But anyway, we're glad to have her back, and please welcome Lauren Bland.
If you can project, you can just stand wherever you want to. We're going to try and videotape it.
Can everyone hear me when I talk? I'm sorry. I talk fairly loud. I'm originally from New York, so we're loud and we talk real fast, so we'll try to slow it down. Thank you, Susan, for the introduction. As Susan mentioned, I am Lauren Bland. I'm the Executive Director. I'll speak on ODU a little bit. I have my bachelor's and master's from there. And actually worked in the athletic department for 3.5 years, so I know ODU like the back of my hand, all the nooks and crannies, so proud alumni here. So in 2006, Jack Ankerson, who was our former executive director, brought me in to be an intern for the 2006 games. So I've seen the event through in 2006 as an intern. Graduated from college, worked full-time. Jack kind of snatched me back up to see if I'd come back in 2010, like Susan mentioned. So I saw the event through. I was the event manager. I was responsible for about 90% of the logistics. Had a couple great opportunities come up in Charlotte, moved to Charlotte. And this past October, I got married. And my husband and I went on our honeymoon. We come back about 4 days later, and the recruiting group that was looking for the new executive director reached out to me. So imagine that conversation you have with your husband, who you've been married to for 4 days, who's lived in the same town his whole life. Hi, honey. My dream job has opened up. How do you feel about moving to the beach? So nonetheless, here we are, and I officially took post January 12th, so excited to be here. I have the rare perspective of seeing this event and this organization as an intern, as a manager, and now as an executive director. So I'll talk about that a little bit later, but we're a small staff. We have 2 full-time employees, and then we bring in about 6 interns with us for the summer. So who we are, in a snapshot, our mission and vision is basically to go out and attract sports events, bring them to the region that are going to generate economic impact, and also to create sports events that are going to improve the quality of life for our residents here in Hampton Roads. We were formed about 15 years ago in 1999. At this time, the sports tourism, the sports business world wasn't really that popular, wasn't really that formed. And a group came together to put on the Junior Olympics about 15 years ago, and they realized they were onto something. And so since then, most of the cities and regions in the area have formed CVBs that have convention and visitors bureaus, that have sports tourism, a sports sales manager. Sports is big business. The youth sports industry alone is a $6 billion industry. And we are a 501c6. We are an affiliate of the Hampton Roads Chamber of Commerce. We're a little bit different than most sports commissions around the country in that we're an affiliate of a chamber instead of a Convention and Visitors Bureau. The reason for that is when we were formed, the thought was for us to be a regional sports commission because we all know that maybe Norfolk doesn't play as nice with Virginia Beach or Chesapeake or Portsmouth or what have you. There's a lot of borders here, but visitors, guests, tourists, when they come to town, they don't see borders. They just know they're in Hampton Roads, Tidewater, coastal Virginia, what have you. They don't know necessarily what city they're in. And so we partnered with the chamber because they also were a regional organization. So these are a couple of our marketing materials. These are things that we bring to different trade shows and conventions. The one up top is pretty cool. It kind of shows you within about an 8-hour drive of us. I think it's 60% of the population is within an 8 or a 10-hour drive. So we are a very, very desirable market for sports, especially youth sports. There's a few events that we host locally, and then I'll get into our mega event. We have hosted a recruiting, eligibility, and compliance forum. This is before my time, but what it was is for a couple of years they put together a forum for high school students. They brought in compliance officers from ODU, NSU, CNU, and just kind of had an open dialogue forum about what it takes to be recruited, about scholarships, just general information. It was free and open to the public. It's something that we will bring back in the future. Just this year with the Junior Olympics, we have a lot on our plate, so we'll bring it back probably for next April. After we get through the Junior Olympics, our next couple events are just, honestly, they're just fun. It's fun for the community. We're doing a sand kickball tournament. It's great for team building, corporate morale. It's fun. We do it in conjunction with the chamber. It's at 31st Street Park, mid-September with Beach Bash. So you're actually down on the sand playing. It's a great time. And then our third event is a new event that we've created. It's called Ladies' Day to Play. And although I don't see many ladies in this room, I'm sure you all have wives or children, ladies in your lives. And it's our day to rule the golf course. So we will be at Honeybee Golf Course. We've already had some teams sign up and we're starting to get some sponsors rolling in. But it'll be just a day of fun, fellowship, kind of women's health and fitness. It'll be great. But it's October 16th. Your companies can obviously get involved. We just ask that only your ladies show up to play. So these are some of our larger scale events that our organization has hosted and put together. Back in '03, we hosted the National Senior Games. So it's similar to the AAU Junior Olympic Games, that it's a multi-sport event, except this event is geared towards the 55 and up crowd. So it was very successful. We're actually going to be putting in a bid to bring it back in 2019. So fingers crossed we get it. Hopefully some folks in this room are athletic and want to come out and try to compete. We've also hosted some Heroes games, some higher level gymnastics meets, but what we are known for and what our bread and butter is the AAU Junior Olympic Games. This will be our 5th time hosting the event. And so this is kind of a snapshot to show you about how many athletes we get per Junior Olympics. When it first started, we had a little over 11,000. And this year we're projecting over 15,000 athletes. So it's a sustainable event. It's an event that's growing. It's in popularity. We're really excited to host it this year. And so what does this mean for you guys as residents? This slide and our next slide are going to talk a little bit about the economic impact and the tax dollars. So each event, the last couple of Junior Olympics have produced almost over $40 million in economic impact. We're projecting this year's to be closer to $50 million based on the increase that we're expecting in attendance. Just kind of average cost of living has gone up a little bit. So what this looks like for tax dollars, this is from our economic impact study. This year we're doing our study with the ODU Research Foundation, so we'll have even better data for this year's event. But for example, look at, I'll just pick Norfolk. Tax dollars alone, pure tax revenue that's generated is a range between $500,000 and $800,000. So it's a significant return on investment for what our cities and Parks and Rec partner with us for. So here is our event in a snapshot. So this event will be held July 29th to August 8th. So it's coming up. Mark your calendars, and in a couple weeks it'll be in your back door. The event itself is going to bring about 15,000 athletes. We bring in about 20,000 additional fans, officials, coaches, spectators, what have you. They compete in about 20 different sports, and in the next slide we'll kind of talk through it. It's a little bit small, but these are the list of sports. So whatever you're into, we probably have. Who in this room has played sports growing up or has a child or a grandchild that plays sports? So I think almost everybody's hand went up. So that's one of the things I love about sports, is it has the ability to bring people together, to bring a region together. So anything from, at Virginia Beach Convention Center, we do baton twirling and wrestling at the same time. We like to call it our Beauty and the Beast. The wrestlers complain about the music, and the baton twirlers complain about the smell of wrestlers. So it's fun, it's a good time. And then we'll also do trampoline and tumbling and sport stacking. It's a new sport they do. They take cups and they go up and down with different sequences. So it's pretty neat. Obviously at Norfolk State, we have track and field. In Chesapeake, we do martial arts events and our strength sports, so kind of like strongman competitions with powerlifting, weightlifting, and all sports combined. And then we move across the water, and we will have jump rope, cheerleading, gymnastics, and then we'll also do swimming and baseball in Newport News. And this is just kind of a snapshot of where some of the venues are throughout the region. So you can see we are a truly regional event. And so this year, we're doing something that's a little bit special. We are doing a celebration of athletes event. It's kind of like an opening ceremonies, like you'll see in the Olympics. So we'll have about 20,000 people there. We'll have drum lines and marching bands and step teams and a whole bunch of different performances. But some of the cool things we do is we actually bring in 3 different sports and have them do demonstrations. So although you might be there for track and field, we'll actually have a demo of baton twirling, jump rope, and sport stacking. So it's a chance for everybody to kind of see the cohesiveness, the diversity of the group. We also will be doing something really special this year. I mentioned earlier Jack Ankerson, and so this year we have put together scholarships. This is the first time that the Junior Olympics have done this, so we're giving out 3 scholarships to local athletes, and we're calling it the Jack Ankerson You Can Do It Award. As I mentioned, I worked for him in 2006, 2010. I worked for him when I was in the athletic department. He's someone for me, if anybody knows him, is a boisterous personality. He's the voice of sports, and I just thought it'd be a great way to honor him, kind of pass the torch a little bit. So he'll be here, he'll be out celebrating with us. And then we also, I'll kind of mention this, I met Bill Pollard earlier, and you guys are very lucky in this room. His daughter is actually qualified to compete in the Junior Olympics, so she'll be joining us, I think he said the 1500, the 800, and the 3000. So if you're available, come out. Join Bill in the 100-degree heat and cheer on his daughter. It'll be a great race. It'll be a great time. Well, as always, I know we're 3 weeks out, so it doesn't necessarily apply right now, but sponsorship opportunities, really at this point, what we have available for folks, if you work for a business or an organization and your target audience is, that 7 to 17-year-old age group, cell phones, cars, technology, things like that, and you're interested in getting your product out there in front of folks, at this point, the best opportunity is to come on site to be a vendor and just get in front of folks. But these are some of our sponsors. We've been really lucky in our community to have so many folks step up. You'll see that we have CHKD and Centera, which is kind of unique. You don't typically see 2 medical providers together. For our event, it's crucial because we are in about 9 different venues. We have about 30 to 40 athletic trainers working per day, taking care of the athletes, coaches, spectators, everybody. So it's important that our whole region works together to make sure everyone stays safe and secure. Volunteer opportunities. I put a couple flyers on everyone's table. Volunteers are super, super, super important to us. As you can imagine, an event of this magnitude, we need about 2,000 volunteers. And I'll put a challenge out there to this Rotary Club. I'm in the Kiwanis Club in Norfolk. I was in it for many years before I moved to Charlotte, and they snatched me up as soon as I think I was in town for a week before someone started calling me to come back. They knew I was here. And so they are going to be helping us at baton twirling. So I'll put a challenge out. If anyone in the club or if the group wants to come together as a day, we'd love to have you join us. We have what I call the coveted volunteer positions. They're inside, they're air conditioned, you're in a chair, we'll give you a t-shirt. It's amazing. I know we were talking about this earlier. It's incredible what people will do for a free t-shirt. So I really hope this group is super motivated by t-shirts. So we'll give you a t-shirt and also a food voucher. But really keep it in mind for your children or your grandchildren. I think Suffolk Public Schools, I think they just passed something that requires their students to do 50 hours of community service before they graduate. So if you have any children or know of any that are in National Honor Societies or things like that where they need hours, this is definitely fun. It sure beats picking up trash on the side of the road.
Careful.
It's super important, but for a 16-year-old, it may not be as motivating. So that's our volunteer needs in general. Like I said, I put some flyers out. If you're interested, we can definitely talk offline afterwards. And with that, I'll kind of close and definitely open it up for questions. As I mentioned, it's really unique to see this event and this organization through as an intern, as a manager, and now as an executive director. I recently went to a conference in April, and I think I'm in the top 3 youngest executive directors in our industry in the country. And so I remember that every night when I go to bed and when I walk into meetings and events, I'm very fortunate and lucky to be where I am. I also know how hard of a job I have in front of me, but we'll do it with grace and enthusiasm. So with that, go ahead.
Interested in how Hampton Roads got the 5th time hosting this.
Yep.
I'm from Indiana, and Indianapolis is a big sports town, so.
It is.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process, the competition process?
Sure. So we've also been awarded 2020 and 2025, and so it's a bid process. As you'll see when we list all 20 sports, it's very rare to find cities that have all of those different venues that are available, that are the right size, the right ceiling height, right square footage, the right number of lanes for your pool. But we're in good company. Like some other cities that have this event are Detroit, Des Moines, Houston, and Greensboro, North Carolina. So your big sports town, Indiana and Indianapolis is obviously a big sports area. But that's part of the process. They also, for us, our numbers as far as attendance, we are typically in the top 1 or 2 highest attended Junior Olympics because of our location. It's a vacation for folks. They want to come and spend some time at the beach, go to all of our restaurants and attractions. It's a nice getaway for everybody. But that's why we've been awarded it. They do a first right of refusal. If you've hosted it before, you sign up to see if you want to host it again.
Thank you.
Okay, last year, my daughter's running with a bunch of friends. She's through the Cowboy Striders. Last year we went to Des Moines, Iowa, which they don't have as many people in Iowa because it's Midwest and East Coast. But what I mean is not as much population to get to, and it costs more money to get to, so they'll be packed. But it was our first experience, and it was just incredible seeing these young athletes compete, and the volunteers do a great job. When I went to the Iowa one last year, we made up of 2 Rotary clubs. The Iowa Rotary Club in Des Moines has 300 members. Wow. And their breakfast spin-off meeting the next morning has 150 members. So big difference in Rotary attendance. But it was a great event last year, and I recommend people to check out these young athletes, especially the track and field.
Just to add to that, about volunteering, you could pick a day. It's not like you have to commit to all those days. And I really think it's a great opportunity for teams of employees, get them out there together, and and we can do some PR on that, okay? So I'll offer that to you.
And particular venues or that type of thing?
Yes, you can pick one location, and get 5 or 10 from Rotary together, or your companies. would be wonderful, because we're not at that 2,000
No.
mark. That's a
Right.
big
We-
need.
We have about 600 or so signed up now, 3 weeks out. It's in good, we're in good shape. Most people don't know what they're doing next week, let alone in 3 or 4 weeks, but we welcome you to come.
Where do you get a list of the sports?
So if you go to our website, it's on that flyer, it's hamptonroadsports.org, and we have a banner you can click on for Junior Olympics, and it'll list all your sports for you. And daily admission, it's $12 to show up and attend. Children under 6 are free, so if you have kids or grandkids who are interested in sports, but you're not sure you want to sign them up yet, why not, bring them out, let them see some sports in action and see what they're drawn to. Most of our venues will have multiple sports going on at once.
Y'all do a whole week-long pass?
We do. We also will do a week-long pass. So if you want to come out all week, it's $40. It gives you access to go anywhere and everywhere for the full 11 days of the event.
Laura, Susan, thank you so very, very much. It's back. It's in the middle, at the bottom. Mary Scott has breathed a breath of life into Mr. Rotarian. A bit of life. Steve, what do you think? Mr. Rotarian. Yeah, I've never seen Steve. That's speechless. Is that Mr. Ah? Oh, you haven't read it?
Oh, careful. How many bobbleheads do we have in this place?
Exactly.
I don't know. Who do you think it is?
You.
We didn't make any this week.
Yes.
He teaches math.
We have one last thing we need to do, and that involves you. You're going to pick
Ooh, no pressure.
one of these numbers.
Okay.
Okay.
I see that one.
Last three.
All right, the last 3 digits are 6, 5, 4.
Laura, thank you so very much. And please accept a small token of our appreciation.
Yes.
Rotarians have a very good week. We are dismissed.
Okay, Tim Skull, let's take